I don't want to touch on a sore point, mate, but the second half of the game against Bendigo, you're up by 10 at half time. Is there anything you could have done differently retrospectively looking back at that game?
Well, you know, you can always do things better, and we actually went into a zone in that game because of our injuries and because of our inability to defend Gabe Richards in the post. So, you know, I think that, you know, for half a game we did that exceptionally well. Bendigo obviously was saved by the bell at half time, and were able to regroup and come out with a different plan. And no, you know, good for them, and they were able to do it all year. But when needed, one of their players stepped up, as in Kelly Wilson, knocked down some big shots. So, you know, for us to make adjustments, we went through a tough start of that game where we were down 11-2 or 11-4, and we held our nerve and came back and ran over the top of them. So when she started to make shots, we were trying to make adjustments all the time. But in the end, maybe you know, that mental aspect came into it again, a little bit of fatigue, and we just couldn't get it done, and probably went into a man-to-man a bit late to have an effect, and we'd let Bendigo get back in control of the game.
Who will play Bendigo in the grand final next week? We will find out in around about 90 minutes' time.
Let's talk about Townsville for a second. They had an upset win over Adelaide. Did you have to change anything the way that you prepare, or was it you more focused on what you were doing rather than what they were capable of?
Well, we stuck with, I think that's the way we played all year. I think we probably, it's the first time in a long time I've done less. Well, I did a little bit less on the opposition this year and really focused hard on us and trying to make us play at a certain level, and, you know, with the premise that it would be hard for teams to play with us if we played at our best. But we certainly always do our homework, and we do video and we do scouts and we do all of that stuff. But the fact remains is that I was very surprised that Adelaide got beaten by Townsville, and I thought that Adelaide had a really poor game, an unfortunate poor game against Townsville, because they got plenty of shots, they just couldn't make one. And but then I had to say after the game that we'd played exactly the same way as Adelaide. You know, we'd been hanging around, but couldn't get it done. So you know, you have to say that Townsville had created that atmosphere and that environment where it was tough to make shots, and they'd played a final style of basketball, a grinded out style of basketball, which is something that I'd spoken about earlier, about being able to grind it out when it really matters. And they were able to do that to two very good teams, you know, on their home court, and that's never easy. So you know, you've got to give all credit to Townsville, and you know, disappointment for Adelaide and disappointment for us, and but you know, you just got to learn to that and be able to take your opportunities.
Turn the clock back 12 months, Narelle. We were in this exact same position in the semi-final, and Foley gets the lead to 8.
Townsville hit one or two shots. Had they missed, you know, the result of the game could have been, you know, completely different. I mean, did you say that to the girls? Is there positives that you can take out of it in that sense?
Well, I did not say that. I mean, that you make your own luck, and if the big shots are there to be made, then someone's got to make them. I mean, the reverse is true. If we had made some of our big shots too, it could have been reversed, but we didn't, and they did. So, but the positives is that we had played a great brand of basketball all year. I think a really good spectator style of basketball. I think people were really interested. I think our crowds are way up. I think we've built a bit of a fan base here. Our players are very popular here, and I enjoy coaching that style of basketball, and I know that the girls like playing that brand of basketball. But as I said before, we've just got to learn that sometimes we have to play a down and dirty style as well at times. But that's not going to change. We're still going to be able to, you know, we're still going to push the ball as hard as we can, and we're going to try and create easy scoring opportunities. That's going to be while I'm coaching, that's going to be our brand.
Dandenong quickly down the other end. How they love to play.
Oh, now that is athletic.
Let's look ahead a bit now to the future. I mean, what's the process for you now? I mean, you review the season. Are there one or two or three players that are key signings for you? How does the next sort of you know, short to mid-term period unfold for you?
Yeah, and look, it is about reviewing. We are reviewing as we talk. You know, we're going through what worked for us and what didn't work, and you know, I'm reviewing as I speak to you. You know, talking about things that have gone well and not gone well. Certainly from a personnel point of view, we love all of our players, and we'd like to get as many of them back as we can. But obviously, we've got to take into account lots of factors. First and foremost is, do they want to come back? And we certainly don't hold them. I tell them all that if they don't want to come back, it's fine. You know, I mean, I understand, but they'll always be friends of mine. You know, we've shared some really important times and moments, so we'll always be friends. And the other, obviously, budgetary constraints of whether we've got enough to you know, to bring them all back, and do they want more money or what have you. So there's a few little things to go through before we actually get to the point of them saying we'll sign, you know. But you know, if I had my way, we'd sign them all back up again immediately, but it's never like that.
I guess, Mark, it's disappointing that the Rangers weren't able to add to the trophy cabinet this year, but on the whole, really, I think a very successful season for yourself and the Jayco Rangers girls. Thanks for your time today, and good luck for the future.
Thanks very much. And yeah, I like to say the same. I mean, put it out on a public thing that I'm really proud of the girls, and I think they had a wonderful season. And you know, it is disappointing, but I know they'll get over it and bounce back, and hopefully be really hungry for next season.